Hi, Marbs here. Let's talk about Monster Energy Supercross 25, the official video game for Xbox Series consoles. Now, you're going to want to make sure you stick around till the end of this video to find out how those in North America can win their own physical copy of SX25, the official video game for Xbox Series consoles. The Monster Energy Supercross series has been around for some time. And much to my own surprise, I found out that I own 6 of these games. Yes, believe it or not, 6. 6 was the last one released before the series took a 2-year break to reinvent itself. This included migrating fully to Unreal Engine 5, and Milestone says that the game has been rebuilt from the ground up. The developer claims that this is the most authentic and engaging Supercross experience yet. Let's take a look and see how that actually shakes out. Now, despite owning all these games, I can't say that I've spent a lot of time playing Supercross. Now, I feel that, well, I've been promised in every release that we would gain improved bike handling and better physics and an overall more approachable handling experience. Let's just say I never really gelled with the current handling experience all that well. This led me back to playing other games that have more of a arcade experience, if you will. Now, the ATV game Pure from the Xbox 360 era still gets a lot of gameplay, and if I want a motorcycle on dirt experience, it's far more likely I will reach for MX versus ATV than one of the Supercross games from Milestone. Monster Energy Supercross 25 is being released in a standard edition in physical this time around in North America. Once again, like with MotoGP 25, Europe and other countries are getting a day one edition that is now considered to be more rare in North America than the standard edition for Xbox collectors. Exclusion of the day one edition in North America, we believe, is linked to the popularity of physical media for Xbox in North America. Now, the pre-order DLC for the digital edition is the same DLC that's included with the Day 1 edition, which is the Stars and Stripes pack and the Touchdown pack. The game is only offered in physical for Xbox Series consoles, and the DLC that's included with the Day 1 edition is available separately. Access to this review copy of the game was provided by Plaion and Milestone, neither of which had any say or influence of the content in this video, and this review was not shared with them prior to release. So let's get into it and jump right in and talk about the accessibility of the game. In SX25, we find a few more controls to help newcomers come to grips with the SX series. This is due in part to the new physics and what Milestone calls a reworked bike balance model, using a counterbalance system that adjusts the rider's weight on the bike, which influences the bike handling. In a more direct explanation, the game requires you to use opposite stick controls to move your weight around the bike, which leads to a more realistic handling experience. Now, compared to SX6, you'll either like the new handling model and physics or you won't, and there really just seems to be no in-between on that. This game could really benefit with a more in-depth tutorial that better helps teach all the concepts of Supercross and how these translate into controlling the bike. I found the simple control manual not very useful, and yes, it tries to explain the controls, the settings, and the options for the game, but I thought it was lacking information, poorly done, and not very robust. Accessibility to newcomers in this area really needs more attention going forward with the tutorials and guidance information. Now, some of the tutorial system that appeared in SX6 seemed to be better in many ways to what we have here. And I think the Supercross Academy was helpful, but it didn't provide me a whole lot of feedback on what I was doing wrong. And that's really what I needed. The biggest star of the show in SX25 is the dynamic terrain deformation system with evolving ruts. Oh my gosh, finally! The dynamic rut system is one of the biggest things that we have in SX25. And when looking at the graphics, it's obvious that the interaction between the tires and the ground looks a lot better. Now that being said, I expected a little more with the mud and feeling like it was a little more lifelike due to the move to the Unreal Engine 5. Frankly, my experience was that the ruts and the ground, while looking more dynamic, didn't really play much into the gameplay racing per se. I think the feature will improve as the series evolves with this technology, but speaking for myself and many fans of the game, this was one of the most requested features, so it's nice to see Milestone address that. The new career mode is totally revamped and now provides something that is more akin to what we've seen in some of the F1 games from Codemasters, where your fame, reputation, and team synergy influence your success trajectory within the game. Now that all sounds great, right? But when you start digging into it, you'll discover that you now have multiple leveling systems. Yes, that's correct. One system for each manufacturer, then one for the rider. It was like having multiple season passes to complete with an excessive amount of grinding necessary. Looking at the reward system and the number of XP that you receive per race, until you are a more seasoned racer with an ability to control the bike so that you're riding in the front of the pack, it will seem like you're not making very much headway at all. But this is part of the concept behind this career mode and how it works. In comparing the graphics of the game between SX6, which used the Unreal Engine 4, and SX25, which uses Unreal Engine 5, when you look at things like the NPCs, the models look recycled from SX6, which appears sadly to be the case. While some of the textures and things have been updated, when you compare the images from both games, it's obvious, for example, that the track does look better in SX25, but some of the markers on the track appear to be about the same. The riders are good, but they lack two, and I was expecting it to have far more graphics punch with the graphics upgrade to Unreal 5. The game still has multiple game modes beyond the championship, but there is no open world compound as we had previously in SX6. Again, this makes me wonder why after a 2-year development cycle, we're still missing things from the previous releases. It is obvious that it's going to take time for Milestone to get everything updated graphically for the game and add the things that are missing. SX25 reboots a sort of reskinned version of the SX6 editors, with a don't mess with it if it ain't broken philosophy. The helmet, stickers, livery, butt patch, and suit can all be edited. As far as the track editor, even with the latest update, which does fix the burn problem, Milestone needs to work on this a bit more. I found the track editor to be flat and kind of the tools not very good, and I suspect this will improve going forward, but I don't know that we're going to see more of that this year. The online play technology has been revamped. Now it increases players, the number of players to 16, which is great. It used to only be 12. And I found the matchmaking system works, but it could use a bit more polish. We found the private lobbies to work fine, and the gameplay to be quick and responsive online. The game does align with the championship, along with its online offerings. In addition, the game still offers 2-player local split-screen gameplay, if that's more your thing. Now this brings us to the Season Pass. Yep, Season Pass, of course. As is typical these days, SX25 uses a Season Pass, which includes 12 monthly seasons, each season lasting about 30 days. Now, the season rewards include different themes, logos, and other rewards, and then there are daily and weekly quests as well as a bonus. There are also customizations that are included for season pass holders, but we don't know much about that yet. But I want to point out here that if you do play the season, your rank does get reset at the beginning of every season. Now, when you look at the core of the facets of the game, which includes the ground physics, the air physics, animations, and camera movement, this is the core of what matters or of what influences the gameplay. While I would not consider myself an expert, but I do think, as with the MotoGP series, this game struggles with accessibility. Accessibility is absolutely a necessity for this game to grow. Now, the riding aids with the neural technology AI help. I found that it is, in a way, making the game more approachable. Since I race and enjoy a lot of car racing games, I do see improvement here, okay? But it's still not as good as it could be. Now, if you devote the time, I do think you can get the hang of it, but it is going to be something that's going to take quite a bit of time, and it is quite unforgiving and darn near brutal at sometimes. Some feel the experience in this game, using the opposite stick controls to move the weight positioning on the bike, it's something that you're either going to get the hang of and like, or you're not going to adapt to it and probably are going to be saying it's a poor control design and you prefer the handling in SX6 instead. I feel that the handling is a mixed bag, okay? It's better in some ways, but perhaps worse than others. But playing SX25 side by side with SX6, I think I would give the nod to SX25 in the handling model. It seems a little bit more flexible for newcomers to get the hang of, but without the explanation of how to do this control, I think newcomers are gonna struggle. And that is a problem here, okay? But if you get the hang of it, you are going to be rewarded. Overall, I think there is improvement in SX25, but it is not the measurable amount of improvement that I would have expected in a 2-year development cycle. That included an engine migration too. The neural technology AI and the dynamic terrain deformation system, along with the evolving ruts, are major adds for the game, and kudos to Milestone for these. But additional refinement improvements will make these features even more useful into the future. Now, fans of the series, I think it's a worthy purchase, and I think giving the new handling system a try, definitely worth your effort to do it. Nothing I'm going to say in this review is going to change your opinion about the game one way or the other, to be honest. Once you try it, you're either going to like it or you're not. And if you don't like it, I would encourage you to keep trying. Now, I think the Season Pass content is interesting, but it's definitely aimed at those who want to compete in the monthly championships. It does offer an XP booster multiplier and the 2-stroke bike pack, both of which are $5 a piece, or you can get them included with the Season Pass for $25. I definitely recommend the XP multiplier if you're going to try this to level some of this up. Okay, now, for those that are new to the game, this is still quite difficult to master, but there have been good updates to it. But it's going to remain a challenge for newcomers to grasp the concepts. But who among us doesn't like a challenge? Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. You want to win a copy of Supercross 25 for your Xbox Series X console? All you have to do is leave a comment below saying, I want SX25, and you'll be automatically entered into a drawing for the one copy that I'm giving away. And please make sure that you're subscribed because I'm only picking subscribers for this one. Good luck and happy riding. My name is Marbs, and I want to thank you for watching. Now subscribe for me, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.